Hello there, I'm Muhammed, Hamdan, and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. The 46th ASEAN Summit and related summits, one of the most substantive milestones in ASEAN's history, says Prime Minister. Unlicensed timber factories raided, various items worth almost 100 million ringgit seized. Good morning. Muslims in Malaysia will celebrate Hari Raya Aidil-Adha on June 7th. Assistant Secretary to the Conference of Rulers, Datuk Muhammad Asral Jusman, made the announcement on Tuesday. In a statement, he declared that first Zulhijjah will fall on Thursday and that Hari Raya Aidil-Adha will fall on Saturday, June 7th or 10th Zulhijjah for all state across Malaysia. The 46th ASEAN Summit and related summits represent one of the most substantive milestones in ASEAN's history. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also ASEAN Chairman, said the summit successfully achieved its objectives, attributing the outcome to the strong support and unity among ASEAN leaders, as well as the bloc's first meaningful engagement with the Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC and China.
Kerana pertemuan pertama 2 tahun yang lalu di Riyadh itu lebih dalam arti kata permulaan, pengenalan dan persetujuan secara umum, tapi kali ini ada perbincangan yang lebih teliti dan substantif.
Anwar noted that previous discussions with the GCC were more of an introduction and general agreement. Talks have now developed into a concrete coordination of policies and joint actions. At the same time, Malaysia and ASEAN member states have shared their views with China on regional issues, including the crisis in Myanmar, trade tariffs, and cooperation in the fields of economy and security. Meanwhile, ASEAN leaders have reaffirmed that the 5-point consensus remains the bloc's primary reference in resolving the crisis in Myanmar and called for its full implementation without delay. In a joint statement issued during the 46th ASEAN Summit, the leaders expressed concern over the worsening conflict and humanitarian conditions in the country, further compounded by the March 28th earthquake. ASEAN leaders acknowledge recent declarations of temporary ceasefires by Myanmar's military authorities and other parties, but stress that these efforts must be expanded and sustained nationwide. They urge all sides to halt violence against civilians, stop attacks on public infrastructure, and commit to restraint in order to establish a safer environment for humanitarian aid and inclusive national dialogue. Meanwhile, the ASEAN GCC-China Summit is a significant platform for fostering collaboration among some of the world's most influential economic blocs. This is because ASEAN, the GCC and China collectively represent a combined GDP of $24.87 trillion and a population of approximately 2.15 billion. The Prime Minister said the economic cooperation between them can shape a more connected, sustainable and prosperous future in the three regions.
For the first time, ASEAN, the GCC and China come together in this unique configuration. 3 partners, each rich in history, civilization, culture and shared aspirations. 3 regions booming. Fantastic achievements.
Anwar expressed confidence that ASEAN, GCC and China can draw upon their unique attributes and shape a future that is more connected, more resilient and more prosperous for generations to come. In 2023, ASEAN's GDP reached $3.8 trillion, making it the 5th largest economy in the world. In the same year, ASEAN trade with the GCC stood at $130 billion, while foreign direct investment was worth $390 million. China is also ASEAN's largest trading partner with $700 billion in total trade and $17.3 billion of FDI. Moving on, trade volume between the GCC and ASEAN is forecast to grow by an average of 30%, reaching $180 billion, and that's 846 billion ringgit by 2026. In his opening remarks, Kuwait's Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah said the investment potential between both sides is huge.
We call for removing all restrictions that may be hindering these cooperations, and we reinforce that the form between GCC and China is an institutional opportunity for innovation in infrastructure, green energy, and digital economy, and other fields that are of shared interest.
He also said the GCC is looking forward to achieving positive outcomes in the ongoing negotiations for a free trade agreement or FTA between both sides. Sheikh Sabah Khalid is the president of the current session of the Supreme Council of the GCC. Now, China is ready to work with ASEAN and the GCC to leverage synergy for shared development and prosperity. Chinese Premier Li Qiang said the cooperation between China, ASEAN and the GCC accounts for about a quarter of the world's population and economic output.
Should firmly expand regional opening up and develop a big market with more efficient mobility of resources, technologies, and talents, and enhance trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, so as to fully unlock the huge potential of open development.
Li said this in his opening remarks at the ASEAN GCC-China Summit in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. He added that China is ready to work with ASEAN and the GCC to become a powerful driving force for their shared development and prosperity. The Chinese premier also said that China is willing to align its development strategies with ASEAN and the GCC. On another note, the Prime Minister said the Sultan of Brunei is currently resting at the National Heart Institute, or IJN. Anwar said Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah had felt tired earlier on Tuesday during the 46th ASEAN Summit.
He's feeling a bit tired, so he's just resting at the IJN.
As well as CVs that are known to the artificial intelligence AI innovation.
Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah arrived in Malaysia on Sunday to attend the summit, the ASEAN GCC Summit and the ASEAN GCC China Summit.
Fellow members of ASEAN, both nations enjoy excellent bilateral ties.
The General Operations Force, GOF, has seized various items worth over 97 million ringgit and arrested 98 individuals following a series of crackdowns on unlicensed timber factories on the East Coast. The operation, dubbed Op Sawmill, was carried out by the GOF in collaboration with the Forestry Department, involving inspections of 32 premises across Pahang, Terengganu and Kelantan throughout the year. Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Datuk Sri Azmi Abu Kasim said the individuals arrested were aged between 18 and 80 and included 10 women.
Yang warga negara Malaysia 18 orang. Lain daripada itu semua warga asing. So yang warga asing ni kita riman lah. Sementara yang 18 tadi telah pun kita bebaskan dengan jamin. Pasal kita ada keperluan untuk membuat semak. Kita tangkap itu 20 hari bulan. So masih dalam riman lah.
He said items valued at 66.5 million ringgit were confiscated during the first two phases of the operation, which took place in Kelantan and Terengganu. In Pahang, assets worth 30.8 million ringgit were seized, including 47,709 pieces of forest timber, heavy machinery and wood processing tools. Those arrested are being investigated and will face action for committing various offences, including employing illegal immigrants. In Malacca on Tuesday, police detained an express bus driver to assist in an investigation after the bus he was driving crashed into a vehicle and caused a man's death. Alor Gajah District Police Chief Superintendent Ashari Abu Sama said the 37-year-old tested negative for drugs. In the 4:55 p.m. accident on Monday, 23-year-old Muhammad Aiman Muhammad Farid died at the scene, while 22-year-old Muhammad Hakimi Hafiz Baharin sustained injuries. In a video which went viral, the bus was seen heading towards the Alor Gajah Melaka Tengah Jasin Highway from the Melaka Central Terminal before it veered off the road and rammed into a car parked by the roadside. Muhammad Aiman was flung out of the car and landed in a drain from the impact of the collision, while Muhammad Hakimi sustained injuries. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for reckless or dangerous driving causing death. Business news. Malaysia's ASEAN Chairmanship is expected to drive positive growth in the country's business sector in the second quarter of this year. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Muhammad Uzir Mahidin said a study conducted by the Department of Statistics Malaysia shows that the chairmanship has contributed to increased confidence and optimism among business owners. He explained that other factors, including government initiatives, will also contribute to the growing optimism.
Kita lihat pelaksanaan berbagai inisiatif terkini kerajaan, sistem bantuan sosial, sistem kalau kita lihat pencapaian syarikat-syarikat yang mengumumkan mereka punya pencapaian berdasarkan tahun keuangan yang diumumkan tu menunjukkan banyak yang menunjukkan turnaround dan juga prestasi yang begitu tinggi kan. Kat situ yang kita boleh nyatakan bila kita tanya kepada pemilik-pemilik yang kita pilih dalam survey ini, rata-rata menunjukkan mereka very optimis.
Muhammad Uzir said this after launching Malaysia Labour Market Data Hub portal, My Labour Hub, in Putrajaya on Tuesday. My Labour Hub is a strategic initiative under the 12th Malaysia Plan aimed at realigning the country's labour market towards inclusive, sustainable and competitive economic growth. ASEAN must present itself as a strong, united, inclusive and focused governance bloc for the future. Chief Secretary to the Government, Tan Sri Shamsul Azri Abu Bakar, said effective governance is crucial in facing global uncertainties. Shamsul Azri said this in his speech delivered by Auditor General Datuk Sri Wan Suraya Wan Muhammad Radzi during the opening of the ASEAN Auditor Conference 2025 in Putrajaya on Tuesday.
Governance today is not just about control, it is about enabling trust. Citizens across ASEAN are more connected, more informed and expect more integrity. Our public institutions must respond not with bureaucracy, but with boldness, openness and competence.
He also called for closer cooperation at the ASEAN level among auditors, policymakers and digital governance innovators. Shamsul Azri further proposed collaboration in developing audit frameworks to strengthen procurement integrity and formulating policies to tackle technological challenges. Now, Japan on Tuesday announced a bundle of measures worth more than $15 billion aimed at shielding small to medium-sized businesses, SMEs, from the impact of US tariffs. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi said the support package will include assistance with business financing and more flexible loan terms through a government-backed lending institution. The key Washington ally is subject to the same 10% baseline tariffs imposed by US President Donald Trump on most nations, plus steeper levies on cars, steel and aluminium. Japan therefore wants all of Trump's levies on its exports to the US lifted, with the government's tariffs envoy expected to return to Washington this week for a fourth round of talks. Snatch thief arrested after viral video. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Nak kerja buat apa? Ni aku nak buka bisnes kopi untuk kita ni. Konsep bisnes kita ni mewah. Biji kopi tu sini kena rare.
Drama bersiri sulung Nik Amir Mustafa.
Aku rasa aku tak boleh jual lah abang ni.
Lelaki tak bercerita, tapi diam-diam je. Move on. Bina life baru.
Tapi perangai you macam...
Tepi. Ya, you tak apa. You okey.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Boleh cakap ini sebuah filem yang memang gempak lah, anak-anak semua enjoy. Dia orang tengok filem 2 jam tapi tak blink langsung, gelak ketawa semua. Saya nampak dia punya level of animation dia memang dah meningkat tinggi. Air dia, rambut semua, movement, action semua memang gempak. So jom kita ramai-ramai support filem ni. Sebuah filem Malaysia yang memang patut dibanggakan. 10/10 memang mantap.
Ada idea drama yang boleh viral atau nak jadi pelakon di TV3? Pitch story korang selama 10 minit berserta slide presentation ke TV3. Atau sertai pencarian pelakon drama sangat pada 14 Jun di Universiti Melaya dan Talis University 21 Jun. Berumur 18 hingga 25 tahun. Tak kisah nak genre romantik, komedi, cinta atau isu semasa pun boleh. Menang hadiah terkumpul RM9,000 jika idea korang diterbitkan oleh Media Prima. Atau boleh berlakon sekali dalam karya drama sangat.
Peningnya. Kecil ke besar? Kecil ke besar? Besar ke kecil? Mestilah I nak yang besar. Persoalannya, saiz apa yang puas? Mestilah saiz 65 inci. Lagi besar, lagi layan.
Juara!
Wow! Lagi layan tengok tonton dekat smart TV besar. RM99 je.
Lagi besar skrin, lagi puas stream. Layan tonton di smart TV, repeat sampai pagi.
Jom.
Dah sedia untuk Karnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur? Banyak aktiviti menarik menanti di booth studio tonton drama sangat. Pertandingan cosplay Ejen Ali untuk dewasa dan kanak-kanak. Maskot Ejen Ali dan Ejen Alicia pun ada. Test level berani di Thrill Rumah Hantu. Juga temui barisan pelakon drama sangat, personaliti TV3, TV9 dan tonton. Jumpa di studio tonton drama sangat Karnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur di KL Base 30 Mei hingga 1 Jun ini, okey? Jom!
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. In Kelantan, the woman who was remanded over the acid attack on a spa operator in Bachok on May 17th was the last person to have an appointment with the victim. Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Yusof Mamat said the victim was unable to identify either of the suspects as the woman was wearing a niqab or face veil while the man's face was covered with a mask. He also confirmed that further investigations are underway to determine the motive behind the attack. Both suspects had their remand orders extended until Friday to assist the ongoing probe. The victim, 27-year-old Nur Fazira Muda, sustained 80% burns on her back and arm and is currently being treated at the University Science Malaysia Specialist Hospital. In Pulau Pinang, a married couple was charged at the Balik Pulau Sessions Court on Tuesday with abusing their daughter 2 weeks ago, causing physical injury to the 12-year-old. The accused, 47-year-old Chew Kok Wan, and his wife, 49-year-old Mak Wai Peng, pleaded not guilty to the charge, which was jointly read before Judge Ahzal Fariz Ahmad Khairuddin. According to the charge sheet, the couple allegedly abused a girl at a condominium in Bayan Lepas on May 18th. The charges were framed under the Child Act 2001 and read together with the Penal Code. The judge granted bail at RM10,000 each and set July 1st for next case mention. In Pulau Pinang, police detained a man believed to be responsible for a snatch theft involving a 71-year-old female motorcyclist in Georgetown on Monday. The 29-year-old suspect was apprehended at 4 p.m. on Tuesday at Jalan Kun Huat. The 3:30 p.m. incident was recorded by a passerby. The recording shows a victim defending herself after her gold chain was snatched by the suspect. The suspect, who tested positive for drugs, has been remanded until June 2nd to assist in investigations. PM meets Red Devils ASEAN All-Stars before clash. The details when Nightline returns.
Ada idea drama yang boleh viral atau nak jadi pelakon di TV3? Pitch story korang selama 10 minit berserta slide presentation ke TV3 atau sertai pencarian pelakon drama sangat pada 14 Jun di Universiti Melaya dan Talis University 21 Jun. Berumur 18 hingga 25 tahun. Tak kisah nak genre romantik, komedi, cinta atau isu semasa pun boleh. Menang hadiah terkumpul RM9,000 jika idea korang diterbitkan oleh Media Prima atau boleh berlakon sekali dalam karya drama sangat.
Dah sedia untuk Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur? Banyak aktiviti menarik menanti di booth studio tonton drama sangat. Pertandingan cosplay Ejen Ali untuk dewasa dan kanak-kanak. Maskot Ejen Ali dan Ejen Alicia pun ada. Test level berani di Thrill Rumah Hantu. Juga temui barisan pelakon drama sangat, personaliti TV3, TV9 dan tonton. Jumpa di studio tonton drama sangat Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur di KL Base 30 Mei hingga 1 Jun ini, okey? Jom!
Saya dah tengok Ejen Ali 2. Saya rasa memang best. Satu benchmark baru untuk animasi filem Malaysia. Ini adalah filem animasi terbaik yang Malaysia pernah hasilkan. Bila saya tengok, kadang-kadang ada certain shot yang macam ini shooting betul ke? Sebab sangat realistik dan saya rasa sangat setanding dengan international punya animation yang level-level Hollywood punya. Sangat best.
Action.
Ustazah, tolong saya Ustazah.
Kali ni aku yakin Abang Ria akan jadi milik aku. Padan muka kau, Mia.
I memang bodoh. You dengan Mirza memang pelakon yang terbaik. Nah, Tanya, you menang.
Nak lagi drama-drama legend? Bayar RM9.90, lagi layan ditonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. A British man has been arrested after he drove his car into a crowd of Liverpool FC football fans celebrating their team's Premier League victory, hospitalising some 27 people. Authorities said they believe the 53-year-old white male from the Liverpool area acted alone in the car ramming in the city in northwest England on Monday. They added that the incident was not being investigated as an act of terrorism. Videos on social media showed people thrown into the air as the car rammed into spectators. Around 20 people were treated at the scene for minor injuries, while ambulance officials confirmed that 27 others were taken to hospital. 4 individuals, including a child, are in serious condition after being trapped beneath the van. The US on Monday rejected an assertion by Hamas that the group had accepted a Gaza ceasefire proposal that reportedly involves the liberation of 10 hostages in 2 batches and a 70-day truce. Israeli officials also denied that the proposal was from the US, saying that no Israeli government could accept it. Earlier, sources said Hamas and the US's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, agreed to the draft deal at a meeting in the Qatari capital. Witkoff, however, rejected the idea that it was his proposal Hamas had accepted, stating that what he had seen was completely unacceptable. The conflicting reports came as Zionist forces kept up their relentless bombardment of Palestinians in Gaza, killing at least 79 people in the past 24 hours. And we're moving to sports now. Manchester United head coach Ruben Amarim has expressed his excitement ahead of the much-anticipated fixture against the ASEAN All-Stars, set to take place on Wednesday night at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium in Kuala Lumpur. Amarim sees the match as a valuable opportunity for pre-season preparations, while also serving as a gesture of appreciation for the club's devoted fan base across Asia. Speaking at a pre-match press conference on Tuesday, the 40-year-old Portuguese tactician highlighted that the unwavering passion shown by United fans around the globe continues to inspire his players to give their all on the pitch.
So I think it's our duty to be here. It's a pleasure. They are outside. They are following this club for so many years, and for us, is really important to have that connection, because in the end, that is the real thing, the thing that makes this club one of the best in the world. So we are very pleased to be here.
Amarim also stressed that United are treating this friendly with full seriousness, adding that the club is open to the possibility of offering an opportunity to any standout ASEAN player who proves themselves.
We want the best players in the world. If I see someone with a real value and he perform, it could be in our list. So we are a club from around the world. So no matter what the region, your country, you will have space if you perform, if you are one of the best players in the world. So we want it.
United and the ASEAN All-Stars are set to face off at 8:45 p.m. on Wednesday. Following the fixture, the Red Devils will head to Hong Kong on Friday for the second leg of their pre-season tour. Meanwhile, national striker Sergio Aguero, who will lead the ASEAN All-Stars when they lock horns with the Red Devils, made it clear that they intend to rise to the occasion and give the 20-time English champions a run for their money.
Proud to us to play against this giant team, and it's a big responsibility for us. And of course, we are going to do our best. We welcome them here in Malaysia, but we will try to win the game.
As for United midfielder Mason Mount, the match offers a fresh chance for the Red Devils to turn the page on a disappointing campaign. Now part of Amarim's 32-man touring squad for matches in Malaysia and Hong Kong, Mount is embracing the competition and determined to make his mark.
Yeah, of course. As the gaffer said, any time that you put on that shirt and you're representing the club, you want to perform to the best of your ability. And we want to win every game. We know it's going to be a competitive game, playing against the All-Stars. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it, and we want to perform the best we can.
Despite a packed schedule, both United and ASEAN All-Stars took time to pay a courtesy visit to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim on the sidelines of the 46th ASEAN Summit. The Red Devils were represented by CEO Omar Barada and Ruben Amarim, while ASEAN All-Stars head coach Kim Sang-sik and captain Sergio Aguero appeared on behalf of their team. During the 20-minute visit, Anwar extended his well wishes to both sides ahead of their friendly match, hoping for a spirited and entertaining contest. A passionate Red Devil supporter himself, the Prime Minister was presented with a Manchester United jacket by the club representatives, which he promptly donned with pride. Also in attendance were Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh, FIFA Council Member Tan Sri Hamidin Muhammad Amin, and ASEAN Football Federation AFF President Major General Keith Samith. Turning to badminton now, the 2025 Singapore Open. National shuttlers made a statement of intent at the Super 750 tournament, with 2 out of 4 Malaysian representatives dashing into the second round on Monday without breaking a sweat. Much has changed since mixed doubles shuttlers Chen Tangjie and To Yi-wei last walked off the court together as a pair in March. But at the Singapore Open, the duo showed that their spark is far from extinguished. In their first match back on the World Tour since parting ways after the All England, Tang Jie and Yi-wei dismantled American pair Presley Smith and Jenny Guy in straight sets 21-18, 21-15. The reunited pair will next face Taiwan's Ye Hongwei and Nicole Gonzalez-Chun for a place in the third round. Earlier top seeds Goh Soon-Huat and Shevin Lai needed just 21 minutes to brush aside Ukraine's Oleksiy Titov and Yevgenia Kantemir, winning 21-11, 21-8. A much tougher challenge, however, awaits the world number 5 pair in the second round, where they might face China's Feng Yanzhe and Wei Yaxin. And that wraps up this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of the first ever humanoid robot fighting tournament in China, an event where advanced robots equipped with diverse combat skills faced off in a high-tech slowdown. With that, I'm Muhammed. I'm Hamdan. Thanks for watching and take care.